Tonight at 6 on TV2 News, Kent State reaches new heights, how the pilot program is growing and what students have their eyes set on for the future.
A second school threat at Kent Roosevelt in 3 weeks, how the district and police are handling the reoccurring issue, and the latest on the charges.
Tuscarawas Valley schools are mourning the 6 victims of the fatal crash, the updates from the National Transportation Safety Board.
Starbucks hasn't been negotiating with our union, and more importantly, they just haven't been staffing our stores. It's unsafe, and we can't tolerate it anymore, so we're out here on one of the busiest days of the year saying that we're not going to do it.
We give you even more information as to why partners boycotted Red Cup Day and more as TV2 News at 6 starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday evening. I'm Matt Carali.
And I'm Sydney Brown. We
begin tonight with a unique opportunity for students here at Kent State as they are taking to the skies.
That's right. Our very own Lex Brady is in studio to tell us more. Hi, Lex.
Hey, guys. That's right. Kent State University has their own airport, but it's not piloted by your average licensed pilot. Instead, these planes are flown by students.
That is the sound of a Cessna 152 getting ready for takeoff. But what's unique about this specific plane is that it's being flown by a Kent State student.
I've gotten a decent amount of flying in. I think I've done 6 flights here.
Kent State's pilot program is widely known and attracts many students interested in aviation.
The professional pilots program is really an outstanding program here at Kent State. It is nationally and internationally known.
There's a really good flight program versus the other programs in the state and the area. They have the biggest collegiate fleet in Ohio. The planes are really nice, really good maintenance team.
While students gain a lot of experience flying, there are also classes and lectures that teach students on the ground.
There are like ground schools that you do one-on-one with your flight instructor, and there's also like a lecture that you go to. But I would say my favorite part about it is actually flying when I'm able to, just because, I mean, sometimes it gets hard, but it is pretty fun once you get the hang of it.
After students finish their mandated flying requirements, they don't completely leave the program. In fact, a lot of students come back as instructors.
A lot of the pathways suggest pilots teach and then they go off to the airlines to give back to the community in some sort of way.
There is a course towards the end of the study, the end of the program, called CFI. They get paid while doing it, they get their flight hours, so everyone is happy, and our students get one-on-one instruction.
The pilot program at Kent ensures that students get enough experience they need before going out and flying for professional airlines.
When I came into the program and actually started flying earlier this semester, I had zero flight experience. I had no clue how to operate a plane, and now I'm getting close to my first solo.
Through this program, students are able to learn how to safely fly and land planes and prepare for career opportunities ahead of them.
So if you're thinking about flying for a vacation, you may want to wait a bit for these future pilots to graduate. For TV2 News, this is Lex Rady.
Thank you, Lex. Dining Services is serving up something good with the Office of Global Education. Tomorrow night is the International Cook-Off. Student culinary teams will be competing to prepare and present a different cultural entree from their home country or region. The event will feature free food and beverages from around the world at the Student Center Ballroom from 6 to 8 p.m. Tune in tomorrow night at 6 p.m. when TV2 will be live from the Cook-Off.
Here in Kent, it is Educator Appreciation Weekend, and businesses in the Tree City are looking to give back. Hotspots such as Erie Street Kitchen, Tree City, and Branded at Kent are giving away offers, and all educators need is their school ID at checkout to cash in. Local business owner Jared Abel said that educators build our communities from the ground up, and we decided that they need a special event to be celebrated.
Good evening, Portage County. I'm Michael Neenan. It may be getting dark earlier, but that doesn't mean we can't see the weather, because currently in Kent it is 58 degrees, but it feels like 57. Dew point is at 30 degrees with the wind traveling south at 5 miles an hour. Humidity is at 37%, and If I had $1 for every mile of visibility, I would have $10 because thankfully we have full visibility today. Now let's take a look at the weather across tonight and into tomorrow. At 8 p.m. it'll be 52 with pretty cloudy skies. It'll be about the same at midnight, but it'll be up to 53. And then at 8 a.m. in the morning, it'll be about the same, except you will see some rain. Now, for a little recap to tonight and to tomorrow, it'll average around 52 degrees. It'll be pretty cloudy, and there is a small chance of showers. The sun will set at 5:05 p.m., which means the sun is already down. But that's all I've got for now. Check in, though, later because we still have to preview the 7-day forecast and check out the statewide temperatures.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. Well, keeping things here in Kent, we have updates on the bomb threat that was made on Kent Roosevelt High School. A 17-year-old student was arrested and charged with inducing panic.
The threat was made on Snapchat Tuesday, which ended up leading to classes being canceled yesterday. This is the second time in less than a month that a bomb threat was made upon Kent Roosevelt High School.
Now let's take things statewide. An investigation is underway concerning the crash on I-70 in Columbus that killed 6 members of the Tusky Valley High School community, including 3 students.
Our very own Dennis Farhani is in studio to tell us more.
Good evening, guys. Yeah, so the National Transportation Safety Board started their investigation on the fatal crash that left 6 members of their community of Tuscarawas Valley Schools dead.
Our investigators will document the crash site, the vehicles, and they'll begin to gather all the factual information.
Last night, the NTBS retrieved black boxes from some of the 5 vehicles involved in the crash. The agency said there's also external video footage from other vehicles that weren't involved in the crash. According to the Ohio Highway Patrol, the accident on I-70 was a chain reaction crash in the backup of a crash about an hour earlier. Authorities expect the preliminary report to be released in a couple of weeks.
Our focus is on safety. Our whole mission is based on determining how this happened, why this happened, and to prevent it from reoccurring.
Governor Mike DeWine ordered flags to be half-staffed starting yesterday until the evening of November 18th and addressed the fatal crash during the 90th anniversary of the Ohio Highway Patrol and Ohio Investigative Unit on Wednesday. Before giving his remarks, Governor DeWine asked for a moment of silence to remember the 6 victims of the crash.
You know, I think for us all to remember is that anybody that was on that bus, you know, has been traumatized, and you know, we have to continue to keep them in our prayers, but also do everything that we can to wrap that community, wrap our arms around that community.
After the crash, the Tuscarawas Valley Local Schools District started a fundraiser to support those who were affected in the community. The Tusky Valley Trojans Foundation announced on their Facebook their details for the fundraiser and a QR code. The school also held a vigil the day of the accident for the victims, and a candle was lit for each of the 6 victims.
So Dennis, what is the community or the school doing now for the community?
Well, the school opened back up yesterday again and is offering counseling to those affected in the community, and also local businesses are showing their support and helping raise funds for the families and friends of those who were impacted.
All right, Dennis, good work tonight. Thank you very much. President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping.
We've made some important progress.
President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping met in San Francisco Wednesday. We tell you how the annual summit went down.
The government shutdown is likely to be avoided. The next steps to keeping operations running now lies in President Biden's hands.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
President Joe Biden had a long-awaited meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping that lasted nearly 4 hours.
And Biden said that he has made significant progress.
We're in a competitive relationship, China and the United States. But my responsibility is to make this rational and manageable, so it doesn't result in conflict.
Some big deals were made during their summit near San Francisco, including restoring military-to-military communication and cracking down on fentanyl manufacturing. After the 4-hour meeting, Biden highlighted the success of the talks. Biden also applied pressure for China to push Iran away from the steps that would aggravate tensions in the Middle East and expressed his opinion on the Chinese leader.
Mr. President, after today, would you still refer to President Xi as a dictator? This is a term that we used earlier this year.
Well, look, he is. I mean, he's a dictator in the sense that he is the guy who runs a country that is a communist country that is based on a form of government totally different than ours.
And keeping things with President Biden, he announced that he defends Israel's incursion into Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza yesterday. He says that he is absolutely confident that with what U.S. and Israeli officials have described as a command center around and underneath the hospital was accurate. Israeli forces published photos and videos from inside the hospital that shows numerous weapons behind an MRI machine. Protests are continuing out of San Francisco at the APEC summit in an attempt to shut it down. Multiple groups have gathered around the summit in protest of APEC, but also for a ceasefire in the Middle East. Protesters were locking arms and chanting "No to APEC." City crews were also turning traffic around in the area. This comes after a protest in Washington, D.C. this past Tuesday. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer shared his thoughts on the protest.
Yeah, I haven't really seen it because I've been so busy with keeping the government open and getting NDAA done. So I'll have to comment tomorrow. Well, it looks like the government will stay open for now. A bill to fund it now goes to President Joe Biden, and a White House official says he plans to sign it. That's after a late-night vote in the Senate. But that doesn't mean the spending battle is over. The bill's two-tiered funding runs out just into 2024. Hardline House Republicans say they want Speaker Mike Johnson to push back against Democrats. George Santos will not be seeking re-election. He announced the decision after a damning report from the House Ethics Committee released Thursday. The 137-page report details a long list of biographical lies Santos has told throughout his life. The Ethics Committee has not concluded that Santos knowingly filed misleading campaign finance reports and incomplete financial disclosures within the House. Santos made a statement today admitting that mistakes were made.
Welcome back. Not only are we going to learn about the weather, but I'm making you learn some geography too as we preview the temperatures across Ohio. Because going from west to east in Sandusky, on the lake it is 60 degrees. Going south in Mansfield it is 61. In Worcester it is 59. Cleveland is 62. Kent is 59. Ken is 58. And all the way in the east, Youngstown is 59. and Ashtabula is 58. But let's take a look at the weathers across Ohio, going from west to east once again. Lima is at 64. Dayton is at 64. Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky are at 65. Right smack dab in the middle, Columbus is also 65. Now in eastern Ohio, Athens is 62. Steubenville is 59. And in Akron, it is 60 degrees. Now, let's take a look at 7-day forecast. Now tomorrow on Friday, it will be pretty rainy. It'll be 57 degrees and with a low of 34. Thankfully though, over the weekend, it will be pretty clear, no rain at all. You will see some clouds in the morning on Saturday, but it will be mostly sunny and it'll be in the high 40s to the low 50s. But as we go into the week, it will be kind of rainy on Monday. It'll be 47 degrees. But take a look at this, because on Tuesday, you will see some rain and possibly some snow. On Wednesday, I can almost guarantee that you will see some snow, but it will stop there. And that's all the time I have for today. Be sure to check KentWire.com for any severe weather updates. I've been Michael Neenan. Let's get back to the news.
Thank you so much. Starbucks baristas across the nation staged what they called the Red Cup Rebellion Wednesday. The work stoppage came ahead of one of the coffee chain's busiest days. During the third Thursday in November every year, anyone that orders a holiday beverage gets a reusable limited edition Red Cup. And here in Northeast Ohio, Starbucks partners at the location in Strongsville went on strike against Red Cup Day.
General Motors approved a labor deal with members of the United Auto Worker unions. The vote came at a slight margin majority at 55% of members voting to support the agreement, which was reached on October 30th. Voting is also taking place for deals at Ford and Stellantis that will likely gain approval. Reaching an agreement would end the nearly 9-week strike.
Coming on the heels of the United Automobile Workers' new contract agreements, several non-union companies say they will give their workers pay raises too. Toyota, Honda, and Hyundai will boost worker pay in the U.S. Toyota says it will raise pay by more than 9%, Honda by 11%, and Hyundai says it will give its workers in Alabama and Georgia a 25% pay bump over the next 4 years.
Kent State basketball is in MACtion. A close look at the team this year, coming off of their 23-game winning streak ahead of the MAC championship.
And from one court to the other, we'll give you a recap of the Cavs game as they took on the Trailblazers. This, along with many other local sports headlines.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple, just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Last year, Kent State men's basketball punched its ticket to the NCAA tournament. But the big question is, how are they going to get back? For those on the team, they say it's belief. I took a trip across campus to the Mack Center to learn more about the latest installment of the Golden Flashes. Basketball season has tipped off. The Kent State men's team returned to the floor this past week and is looking to make some noise in the Mid-American Conference. Leading the Flashes for the 13th straight year is Rob Senderoff. The winningest coach in program history is looking forward to finding out his group's identity.
Early in the year, that's what you're trying to do, trying to learn, like, okay, what are these guys about and what is this team going to be about? And I think tonight, really says a lot about, what this team wants to be about.
Von Cameron Davis is expected to have a bigger role this season and describes the team's main goal for the upcoming year.
Just staying ready and just going out there, playing defense. That's always the first mindset, playing defense, and the offense is going to come. And just bring tremendous energy off the bench, and the rest of it just goes by itself.
Jalen Solinger is the reigning sixth man of the year in the MAC and says that Kent State is locked in.
All I really want to do is win. We won last year. We lose at home last year, so get that streak back up, step into this role. I'm ready for it, and I know my teammates ready too, so we ready.
The winning that Solinger talked about was to the tune of a 2023 MAC title and the nation's second longest winning streak, which was lost Thursday to James Madison, but is back on track thanks to a win Saturday against Fresno State. However, the goal remains the same: one more year under that banner. Reporting in Kent, Matt Caroli, TV2 News.
Well, thank you, Matt, for the fantastic preview of men's basketball. A lot of fans excited for this season. Welcome to your TV2 Sports Report. I'm Dom O'Brien, and we're going to switch from the hardwood to the broadcast booth, as we're going to start off with some fantastic news for the Cleveland Browns fans. Jim Donovan, the voice of the Cleveland Browns, will return to the radio network booth on Sunday for the Browns and Steelers game. Donovan announced he would step away from the network on September 10th to continue his leukemia treatment. He's been battling chronic lymphocytic leukemia cancer since 2000. He will now resume his 25th season as the radio play-by-play voice for the Browns. We're going to tip it off over to the Cavs versus the Trailblazers. The Blazers coming off of a 4-game losing streak, as we're going to send it first to Donovan Mitchell, as he had 34 points on the night. Again, another substantial play from him. 13 of 20 from the field, and look at this move, going right past Shaedon Sharpe for the bucket. He had plenty of these plays over the course of the season, but that's one of the highlights for sure. Portland didn't have the lead since the beginning of the game, and Donovan Mitchell here with the smooth moves with another basket. Portland really couldn't get their ground as they're here down by 2, and look at Max Strus postering that time. Duop Reith, again, look at the highlight here. Max Strus with a great dunk. We haven't seen that from him too much, as the Cavs win 109-95. A good win for them as they head over to play Detroit back at home for the in-season tournament. And finally, we have our beloved Thursday night football feature. We have an AFC North showdown between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, both of these teams are coming off of a loss. The Ravens falling to the Browns and the Bengals falling to the Texans. If the Ravens win, then they can assure their top spot in the division. If the Bengals win, then it would fall to the Browns or the Steelers to secure that spot. Obviously, there's a lot of potential scenarios, but it mainly starts tonight at 8:15 on Prime Video. A lot of fun in the NFL, that all happening this weekend. So if you're a football fan, this will be the weekend for you. Thank you all for watching this TV2 Sports Report. I've been Dom O'Brien, and we will see you next time.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will be bigger than ever this year. What to expect in this year's parade lineup?
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
you're just checking your messages or telling a friend you're on your way. They could be the last words you ever type. Make sure you get where you're going.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
You.
97 years isn't slowing the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade down anytime soon. As New York City gears up for this year's parade, they say it'll be longer than ever before, with 26 floats, 16 giant character balloons, marching bands, and several new additions. New floats to look out for include a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle float, Mutant Mayhem, a Palace of Sweets, Igniting Memories float, and the deliciously delectable World of Wonka.
'Tis the season to be celebrating the release of a new Christmas single by the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, also known as the Philly Specials, is getting everyone in the holiday spirit, especially with the extra brotherly love between Kelce brothers. Phillies center Jason Kelce invited brother Travis to record a duet on his Christmas album. You can hear the gruff singing voice of the Kansas City Chiefs tight end in the Fairy Tale of Philadelphia. The full album, a Philly Special Christmas Special, will be released next month.
It's a tongue twister, isn't it?
This is so much fun. I loved it, and as soon as I saw it was released, I had to get in there.
Yeah, I was editing that package for the sports block. I listened to that like 4 times last night. It was awesome.
It's the perfect, I didn't know I needed it, I guess.
Yeah.
But the only thing I need to say about it.
No, and we got the Thanksgiving Day Parade coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun here in the coming weeks with the holidays.
Absolutely, best time of year.
No doubt about it. That's all the time we have for tonight.
Thank you so much for joining us. For updates on all these stories and more, visit our website and social media at Kent Wired.
And don't forget to tune in tonight at 9 for a brand new episode of The Agenda. I'm Matt Corrali.
And I'm Sydney Brown. Have a great night, Portage County.
Every one of us has a voice, and every voice has the power to shape the world. Ours is no different. Our voice is 85 years in the making, a voice that's more than 700 students strong, one of the largest in the nation. It's 10 different award-winning media partners sharing 34 outlets, all working united toward a common goal. Our voice reaches 30,000 households on TV, over 22,000 magazine readers per year, 500,000 newspapers, feature films in stores nationwide. Our voice is pride in what we do. It empowers students, emerging professionals, to ask tough questions and demand answers. We believe in our voice. We believe in its ability to change the world. And our voice makes us who we are.